afternoon to you and welcome to KTN Newsdesk. My name is Edith Kimani. This is where we bring you the news as it happens, and we're glad you made the choice to be with us.
That's right, this is KTN Newsdesk. My name is Bonnie Tunya. It is the 14th day of May 2014, and these are the news.
All right, let's get straight to it, and we kick off this bulletin at The Hague, where the trial of Deputy President William Ruto and his co-accused Joshua Arap Sang resumed today at the International Criminal Court. Ruto arrived yesterday for a 5-day appearance in which 3 crucial witnesses are expected to appear before the trial chamber number 5. Witnesses 452, 25 and 405 are expected to take the stand as the court resumes from the Easter break. Now, prosecution has requested for an extension of time to respond to an appeal made by Ruto's team on whether the witnesses could testify or not. Ruto's trial resumes after the ICC demanded that the government present 8 witnesses who had pulled out of the case from both Ruto and President Uhuru Kenyatta's cases. But the court said the 8 had crucial evidence that could determine the outcome of the cases. Away from The Hague, and the Kenya University Students' Union has insisted that they are going to hold a nationwide peaceful demonstration on Tuesday next week if the Education Cabinet Secretary Jacob Kaimenyi does not intervene to stop implementation of the new university fee guidelines. The union officials are saying their efforts to hold talks with Kaimenyi over the matter has not materialized, as the Cabinet Secretary has not given them an audience. They are terming the increment as unfair, saying that many students will be denied access to education if the fee increment is enforced.
The government increasing fees is evil, unconstitutional, and it is causing consternation, discomposure and discomfiture among the student spirits. And we must not allow for the poor Kenyans to be taxed this heavily. In fact, we want the fee to be reduced by 50%.
Most students go to universities upon being funded by Higher Education Loans Board. There is no announcement for an increase to that funding. So therefore, the fees will be increased, whereas the Higher Education Loans Board loans and bursaries will remain static.
Now, the Nyeri governor, Nderitu Gachagua, has come out to defend his stand on the sale of coffee that has seen him criticized by a section of the Nyeri County Assembly. The governor claimed that they had managed to sell about 54% of the stock held, and farmers are set to receive 355 million shillings before the end of May.
I also want to confirm that contrary to the propaganda, which I think all of you know where this propaganda has been coming from our detractors, from those people who do not want farmers to succeed, is that currently KCCE, who are the agent for the coffee societies in Nyeri, has sold and committed coffee to an extent of 54% of the coffee that they have received from the societies. And they have undertaken, they have assured us, they have assured the farmers directly that come June 30, they will have sold all the crop through both direct sales and through the auction for the lower quality coffees. And by the end of June 30, we should now be able to get back to the farmers and report to them directly what we have done, because this is something I promised them, that there must be transparency in processes of coffee, from milling, from...
We're still in Nyeri County, where Tetu Member of Parliament Ndongo Githenji has welcomed the move by the Jubilee government to enter into multiple bilateral agreements with the Chinese government. The legislator said he was particularly elated by the China commitment to fund the construction of the standard gauge railway that will ease transportation.
I don't think there's any cause for alarm. China is a good friend of Kenya, China is a good friend of Africa, and we appreciate the relationship that we are developing with them and the technical and financial assistance that they extend to us in Kenya and of course to the continent at large, because it only helps us to fast track our development agenda.
President Uhuru Kenyatta today awarded individuals and public institutions for exemplary performance in various fields of public service. The annual awards are organized by the Commission on Administrative Justice, commonly known as the Ombudsman. We are now joined live by my colleague Sharon Romanyi from KICC. Sharon, who are some of the people and institutions awarded earlier today and why?
Thank you very much. We have some of the winners. We had winners in the institutional and winners at the individual levels. And the winner of the individual level was one Mrs. Ellen Macheka from from Kilifi County, who was lauded for her efforts in education sector. She is a principal of, let me just confirm that, she is the principal of, I will get that, sorry, I've gotten that. She is a principal for Kombeni Girls Secondary School in Kilifi, and she has been lauded for initiating bursary program that seeks to help needy students from the community. And also in the winning category for the institution, we have the we have the Othaya Boys High School, which were lauded for innovation and effective management of resources in their school. We will later be speaking to some of the finalists in the categories of the winners, who will also just tell us what were some of the disciplines that they put into their public service that saw them receiving some of the awards. In his speech, President Uhuru Kenyatta said that, while also commending the winners, also said that the government is putting watch in the public institutions to show that they are going to weed out people who give a bad face to public service. And right now we're joined by the chief of Kimalel sublocation. He will just introduce himself and give us some of the discipline and some of the things that he has done that have seen him being recognized in this prestigious awards.
Kwa majina naitwa Andrew Rumenya, chief Kimalel location. Bila umesikia kwamba achievement yangu ilitokea kwa sababu tunafanya kazi na jamii pamoja, huwa tuna participate pamoja with the community. All the time you can get when there's a community project, when there's a participation, most of the things huwa tunafanya na jamii. Ndio hii ndio imeweka kwamba mpaka nimepika mali nimepika leo, hata nilikuwa najisikia niko sawa, kwa sababu kama nimeenda mpaka nimesika president kupitia ile kazi ya mkono yangu na kazi ile nilipatiwa na serikali, nimejisikia niko sawa.
Unaweza kuambia kama project moja ambayo umefanya kwa location yako ni?
Kwa location yangu tumeungana jamii mpaka saa hii niko na 10 primary schools na 4 secondary schools, na nataka niwahakiisha kwamba yote wako wanatumia maji ya bereji. Kama sio bereji ni ile ya borehole. Hiyo ni achievement moja. Na zingine umesikia kwamba hata nimewin kwa agriculture, nimebadilisha jamii kutoka vile umekuwa ungikaa mpaka saa hii tumeanzisha kilimo cha ngwani, mali tunapata maziwa, ingine unapata matunda kama maembe na paipai. Na hiyo ndio imeweka hata vijana, kwa sababu kubeba ni vijana, kulima ni wakina mama, then hiyo ni mabadiliko tumebadilisha jamii.
Tunakupa pongezi zaidi ya hapo. We also joined by an official at the Shimo La Tewa Boston Institution, which has been recognized for their efforts in rehabilitating boys and delinquent young people in the coastal area. He will tell us some of the disciplines and skills that have seen them receive this prestigious award. Please introduce yourself.
Kwa majina naitwa Agrey Adagi Akoyo, Senior Superintendent of Prisons.
So, ulipata award kama Shimo La Tewa?
Tulipata. Tumefanya contribution kubwa kwa jamii, haswa tumeshirikisha jamii katika kubadilisha vijana. Mwaka jana tulipata bronze medal kwa Toto Eco Challenge kwa kupanda miti kwa wingi sana. Katika hiyo institution tumekuwa na togetherness, vijana wamepata mafunzo kwa wingi na wamekuwa rehabilitated, na staff kwa jumla walikuwa wanaishi katika mazingira ambayo hayakupendeza. Tulikuwa na nyumba za makuti, tulimaliza makuti, hivyo ndivyo kwamba wanafurahia kazi yao. Na hii inatokana na kuwasikiza na kujali maslahi yao.
Tunawapa pongezi sana. So just some of the people who were awarded at the ceremony, and to show that the public service institutions and public servants are under watch and their efforts are being lauded where they are in the positive. Back to you in the studio.
Before we let you go very quickly, this is sponsored by the government. Do we know what they were looking out for and who are the judges, and what exactly were they getting? Is it just a trophy? Is there a cash prize?
This was a non-monetary kind of award, Tunya, and what they were receiving were plaques and certificates to show that they have been recognized by the government. And some of the committee that steered this process constituted of members from the Commission on Administrative Justice and members from the Transparency International, as well as members from development partners such as UNDP.
Elsewhere, the Commission for the Implementation of the Constitution has accused the national government for failure to enhance civic education on the Constitution. This, according to the Commission, has denied the population an opportunity to fully understand devolution. KTN's Ian Wafula now reports.
Until the devolved system of government commenced, the then West Pokot district had been marginalized, with most parts of the area being inaccessible due to poor roads and harsh terrain. Hence, development was hardly taking place.
You called me, you wanted us to meet.
A courtesy call paid by the Commission for Implementation of the Constitution to the county governor gave a clear picture of the state of the county.
Some of the time is wasted.
According to the governor, his county is yet to receive the equalization fund, even though the county was listed among the marginalized areas in the country, a factor that he claims has strained his budget and development plans, as no structures were in place to host the new county government offices.
Due to lack of funds, county departments such as the county commissioner's office right behind me were set up in residential homes that had been put up 5 kilometers away from the town center.
The distance between the town center and the administration center has posed a challenge to the residents to access various services with ease. Majority of them relying on motorbikes and taxis, charging between 30 to 40 shillings. The county government has also spent a fortune in renovating some of the residential houses as they were dilapidated before they occupied them.
We were very much optimistic that that money will come to the counties, because as one of the counties that was marginalized since independence.
Majority of the population within the county have also been unable to differentiate roles between the national government and the county government.
We have continued to try and engage the national government, whose responsibility it is, civic education, but it is not very clear to us what the problem is.
The PFM Act, which is the other one?
CAC is also expected to visit Elgeyo-Marakwet County to engage with community residents as part of their effort to monitor the implementation of the Constitution.
Under CAC, if the size is wrong, they can...
Ian Wafula, KTN, West Pokot County.
Information, Communication and Technology Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i now says the Jubilee government is committed to upholding the freedom of the press. Matiang'i, who paid a courtesy call to the Standard Group Limited headquarters, where he met the group's senior editors, asserted that the media and the government had a joint responsibility to the Kenyan public. Further, he said that though the relationship between the media and the government had in the past been characterized by acrimony and great differences, the government would refrain from encroaching on press freedom.
Inflexibly to freedom of the press. I have said both in meetings in the country and in international interactions that freedom of the press is our way of life now. And I want to state categorically, no amount of criticism, no amount of disagreement, and no amount of differences of opinion will tempt us enough to encroach on the freedom of the press in Kenya.
You might be wondering what healthcare has to do with finance or business or money. Well, today we want to talk about the fight against HIV, and I have a guest who tells me that fight is not yet over. I'm talking about Dr. Stephen Karau, who is spearheading what he's calling the AIDS Healthcare Foundation. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much, Bonnie.
Daktari, we had problems with wage bill and poverty, and we talked about laptops, and we forgot about the fight against HIV. Where exactly are we in that fight?
The war on HIV is still ongoing.
Right.
Without going political, it's in the Jubilee Manifesto,
right,
to just put it in the right perspective. But I'm here today to address it from both a global point of view, a continental point of view, and a national point of view. I'm the country director for AIDS Healthcare Foundation, AHF. AHF is a global organization with its headquarters in LA, registered in the US in the year 1987. It incorporated AHF Kenya and registered it in the year 08, and have been the head of AHF since then.
What would be your key campaign? Because like I said earlier, we sort of moved on and we don't really talk about this anymore as much as we used to in the 90s. As AHF, what is your biggest campaign right now in this fight?
AHF, being a lead organization globally for HIV, has taken upon itself to re-energize the campaign against HIV, because it still remains as the #1 health problem worldwide. So we have come up with a campaign which we are calling 20 by 20.
What's that about?
That is about putting 20 million people on treatment by the year 2020. That is the global target. AHF, as an organization, the African Bureau, will be having a meeting in the next 3 days, beginning tomorrow, here in Nairobi. We'll have the 10 African countries in which AHF work meet in Nairobi to define the African target towards this.
As you talk about the African target in 2020, in your view, what stops us from achieving this? Because I mean, you've mentioned rightly it's in the Jubilee Manifesto and whatnot. What stops us from saying, hey, we've managed the 2020?
All right, for a long time we didn't have the right formula and the right tools, but now we do. We can actually bring AIDS to an end in a foreseeable future, but it will still take time. What we have confirmed, and is scientifically confirmed today, is that treatment is prevention. You treat somebody with HIV and you lower their viral load and you decrease the chances of they are infecting somebody else substantially. So that's a confirmed fact. So the more people you put on treatment, you reduce transmission of HIV. And I can give you the international statistics that are there and available.
Before that, Daktari, very quickly, how is this an economic problem?
Basically, HIV is very much a development issue. You'll find even in a developed continent like Europe, the biggest burden is still in the not too well-to-do European countries. AHF is working in some of these countries. We are in Russia, we are in Ukraine, and so on. In Africa, we are working in 10 countries. It's a development problem. And the biggest burden is still in Africa. It's a fact. We would like in this meeting, as I said earlier, to confirm the African target. AHF worldwide has set itself a target of treating or putting people out of the 20 million. We want to lead from the front. Out of the 20 million, AHF has set itself a target of 1 million. Out of the 20 million people that will be put on treatment, AHF has set itself a target of 1 million. We have an African target, which we are going to confirm in the next 3 days, of 500,000 people on treatment. Yes, I have derived a Kenyan target, which will be around 50,000.
50,000 people in a year
on treatment.
Continuously.
Currently, we are treating 13,000.
Our time is fast, has actually run out.